Hey, it's Bri. This is not going to be an emotional video because what you guys are currently looking at on the screen is a group chat between me and my aunties. Apparently, my aunties have forgotten all the stuff that I have gone through in my life. They think that I'm on the internet just crying out, begging for attention that clearly they did not give me. I'm posting this screenshot because it's my truth. I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. I want people to know the truth about how my family genuinely feels about me. Another reason why this is not going to be an emotional video is because what people don't understand is I am the voice of the voiceless. I speak for people that have been broken by people that were supposed to love them and nurture them. Everything that I have gone through in life, I transmute that energy into creativity. God is using my pain to let other people know, no matter what you go through, no matter who counts you out, no matter who says you're not worthy of love, you're not worthy of respect, there's other people out there that are going through the same thing. And honestly, the devil is a lie. Nobody is going to take my power from me. I know what I've gone through in life. And it's made me stronger. And it's going to make me an amazing mom. And it's going to make me an amazing leader. Everything that I've gone through has literally made me such a better, well-rounded person. Because I understand empathy. Because I didn't experience empathy. I understand compassion. Because I didn't experience compassion. So please, don't think that I'm making this video to spite my family, because I'm not. I'm making this video for girls like me. I'm making this video because my past is exactly that, my past. And I know who I am, and I'm going to keep moving forward, period. When I was growing up, I was abused by my mother. I was stabbed, I was drowned, I was beat mercilessly because my mom said when she looked at me, she used to see my dad, and my dad left my mom. My dad actually dogged my mom out. So she took her revenge on me, which resulted in me being taken away from my physically abusive mother and put into a household with my mentally abusive grandmother. By the time I became a teenager, I genuinely hated myself. I'm pretty sure what I'm talking about is relatable to a lot of people. They just don't have the courage to get online and speak about it. But I do, because I believe in people that have gone through fucked up situations, especially people that look like me. I knew that I was going to be somebody, but I was so drained from my childhood that all I wanted to do was rebel against my family members. I wanted my family to feel how I felt. What I didn't understand was I wasn't destroying anybody but myself. I used to do drugs. So what? They were fun. I don't regret any of that. I'm not gonna lie. I used to ditch class. I got kicked out of high school not once, but twice, girl. And I'm actually really smart. So I didn't get kicked out because I'm an idiot. I got kicked out because I gave up on myself. Now I'm giving you guys this backstory like I always do, because during my teenage years, I was living with my auntie. This is my grand aunt. This is the aunt that I talk about all the time. She is actually my grandmother's sister. So she's an older lady. She had enough of my teenage rebellion. I had another auntie who is my mother's sister. She kind of understood where I was coming from because she was from the streets. She made a whole bunch of bad decisions. So she decided to take me under her wing and spend some time with me. So I packed up my stuff and I went to go spend a weekend with her. I'm gonna give you guys some more backstory. My mother, I act like her. When you guys see me screaming and hollering, that is literally my mother all the time. Just like myself, people think my mom is crazy. I believe that my mom just can't get over her past. She's stuck in the past. We're not gonna talk too much about the psychology of my mother, but I feel like it's important for you guys to know that my whole family basically isolated, ignored, and pretty much said, fuck my mom. Even myself, to this day. My mom used to tell my grand aunt, the one that I was living with, all the time not to let me go over her sister's house because of her husband. Everybody pretty much thought that my mom was being a hater and she didn't want to see me have a relationship with her sister because she didn't have a relationship with her sister. I thought that myself. But I also know my mom may be a lot of things, but she is a real bitch. I'm not gonna lie. My mom may say some really weird stuff, but it be like some truth to it. My mom used to tell me that my auntie's husband was literally illiterate, and he was. My mom had told me my auntie's husband had been jumped in his own neighborhood because he was a gangbanger, and he had been beat up because he touched somebody's daughter. So that's important because if you got jumped in your own hood to the point my mom found out like this was gossip in the streets, why would my mother want me around that man? He's a notorious predator, period. When I went over my auntie's house, my mom's sister, I really did need to get away. I really did need to be with somebody who understood me because my grand aunt is literally a boomer. Like I'm not saying that to be funny. She's a boomer, and on top of being a boomer, she's a Karen. Like for her to live on Crenshaw, she is very disconnected from her own community. So I needed to be around somebody who understood me. And since I didn't get that from my mom, I mean, who else was I supposed to go to? And I really didn't think that this was gonna happen to me. We drive from Crenshaw to Long Beach, and I distinctly remember the conversations that I was having with my auntie in the car because I was talking to her about stuff that I could never talk to my old ass auntie about. I think what people don't understand is I remember what people did to me. People are so used to doing fucked up shit to people, they think that is normal and they just move on with their life. I distinctly remember the conversation. I remember the car ride because I was talking to my auntie about things like birth control, pressure to have sex, stuff that I could not talk about with the auntie that I lived with because, I mean, she was way older than me. Like, I'm not about to talk about boys with somebody who don't like, I've never seen them with a man. So why would I talk about men with somebody who's always been single? Like, that's just stupid. And I felt so close to my auntie during this ride because I really was becoming a woman and I was lost as fuck. Like a lot of girls, man, it's so many girls out here that just have been beat down. And then we become women and we don't know how to be women because we couldn't even be normal little girls. I'm getting this information and then we get to my auntie's house. Her husband was there as well as my cousin. My first impression of my auntie's husband was that he was stupid, but he was really funny. But he definitely was stupid because when I got there, I realized that when he was on Facebook, he literally needed my cousin to read the statuses to him. And I was like, damn, my mom was right. I want you guys to know, I had been around my auntie's husband alone on other weekends. It wasn't like this the first time I ever met this man, even though my mom always told me he was basically like a stupid child molester. I'm not trying to be funny, but like, for some reason, I always gotta crack jokes. I don't know. But yeah, this was not my first time around him. He was not a complete stranger. He knew me, and he knew who my mom was, and he knew that my mom is a street bitch. I was not no stranger, okay? And I told you guys that I thought he was funny. But one of the things that I realized about him, he was always asking me about sex. He would ask me if I was sexually active. When I said I wasn't, he would be like, well, I'm sure people want to have sex with you. Like, this man will always redirect the conversation to my sex life, and I'm like 15 or 16 years old. But just how I made a joke right now, because the situation, the vibe was kind of like weird, that's what I would do. I would make a joke. I'd be like, you an old ass man, da 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 da. Like, I would always pretty much clown him so he could be conscious of what he was talking about. Like, this really weird to be talking about with your wife's niece and we walking back from the liquor store. Now that is important information. I don't remember what day this was. This was like years ago, but I do remember that my auntie had to work the next day and she had like a really weird shift. So she had to go to work at like 5:30 in the morning or something like that. My auntie made the environment very comfortable for me. I really loved this particular auntie. Like, I've always loved her. I don't know why she turned on me the way she did. I just feel like it was divine timing. I feel like it was God showing me people's true colors and allowing me to make the decision if I want these people to continue to be in my life or not. It kind of hurts me to tell this story because we loved each other. I I don't know how our relationship is where it is now, but it's because my auntie's mind has been infected by lies about me, just like everybody else. So remember, I told you guys, when I got to my auntie's house, her husband and my cousin was there. My auntie ended up giving a ride to her husband back to LA, so she left. And then my cousin, he had his own life, so he ended up leaving as well. So I ended up being the only person in the house. So I took a shower, and this particular day, I shaved my entire body. Like, you know when you a teenager and you're like so obsessed with being hairless? Keep that in mind. I mean, I was silky smooth, girl. When I was done taking my shower this night, I got in my auntie's bed because she did not want me sleeping in my cousin's room. My auntie told me to sleep in her bed. So I got in my auntie's bed because the husband was not even supposed to be there. You feel me? Like, she literally drove him to LA. He wasn't even supposed to be there. I climbed in my auntie bed, I watched a little bit of TV, and I passed out. I went to sleep with the TV on, right? I had just shaved my whole body, right? I told y'all that. I remember feeling a hand. I woke up and I didn't even want to open my eyes because I felt somebody rubbing my private parts. Like, literally caressing me and laughing at the TV, right? And I swear to you, I was like, oh my God, I'm being molested. Like, I couldn't move for like a cool minute. I had to process what was going on. I'm like, he laying in the bed next to me laughing at TV while he violate me in my sleep. Like, the wheels was turning. I'm like, this is not a dream. This is not a dream. I leapt out of the bed and I'm standing there. I'm like literally frozen. I was standing there like a sleep paralysis demon. Like, I could not move, bruh. The first thing he says to me, he compliments me on the smoothness of my skin, how smooth I was down there. I felt so violated. Like, I could not believe that that was the first thing he said to me. When he said that to me, I swear to you, it was like my eyes popped out of my head. I was like, oh my God, this is real life. Like, I really wasn't dreaming. So I turned around to leave the room, and then that's when he started to get out the bed. He's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I just closed the door behind me. I go in the living room, and I see that my auntie's mom is in the living room sleep. I completely ignored her because I don't even know that lady like that. My auntie has a different mom from my mom. Now, look, this is how my auntie had to know to a certain extent that her husband was a pervert. Because why did you ask your mom to come over to watch me? And if she was watching me, how did he end up in the bed? That means that my auntie's husband literally made her drive him to LA. He knew that my auntie was going to go to work at the crack of dawn. So he snuck back over to Long Beach, or got a ride back to Long Beach, because he knew I was going to be there. Do you understand what I'm saying? My auntie's husband literally came back in the middle of the night where my auntie's mother was asleep on the couch, my cousin was gone, and I was asleep in the bed. That is literally so disturbing to me because this man doesn't even know how to read, but he knows how to premeditate sexually assaulting his wife's niece. When I go in the living room, I open my laptop. I don't even say nothing to her. I just let her sleep. And I immediately get on Facebook and I go on Messenger and I tell my cousin what just happened. While I'm typing this message, my auntie's husband is getting his stuff and he flies out the door. Like, I never see somebody leave so fast in my life. I didn't say nothing to him. I just let him leave. What is there to talk about? What is there to say? On top of the fact, I was in shock. I couldn't believe it happened. I literally could not speak. If I could speak, I would have woke that lady up and told that lady what happened. I was fucking speechless. So I go and I tell my cousin, and my cousin is like, what, 6 years older than me or something like that? He was like, what the fuck? No, I don't care. Wake my grandma up right now. Tell her what happened. Tell her what happened. Because at this point, my cousin was like damn near in Orange County. So he couldn't come back and do anything. So I wake her up and I tell her what happened. And I'm like, my auntie's husband was just in the bed with me, touching me down there. When I tell you just how I jumped out the bed, that lady jumped up. It was like her eyes was busting out her head. And I was just standing there. I literally did not know what to do. My auntie's mom is like, no, we need to take care of this. Everybody was so serious. Everybody was like, no, this is completely unacceptable. My auntie was at work. This was like, remember I told you she had to work at like 5 in the morning? So this happened in the morning. This happened like 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. So my auntie's mom calls her at work and tells her what happens. My auntie leaves work early. I don't know how an auntie that I love so much could sit in a group chat while another auntie tells me to die slow, bitch. But when she came to the house that day, after her husband molested me, I had never seen a woman weep and break down crying like that in my life. My auntie was weeping to the point I didn't even want to tell my mom what happened because I knew if my mom found out what my auntie's husband did to me, she was really going to hurt my auntie, sister or not. She was really going to beat her up because she kept saying, I do not want my daughter around that degenerate, pedophile, weird-ass man. When I saw my auntie crying like that, I felt more bad for her than I felt for myself. She was like, we gotta go to the police. We gotta go to the police. I didn't even want to go to the police. I was just like, this is another fucked up thing that happened to me. Like, y'all gotta understand, I'm kind of used to fucked up shit happening to me. I didn't want to go to the police because I'm like, this is your husband. She's like, I don't care. You're my niece. We go to the police station. We file a police report. I go through the whole process. She was so hurt. Like, that's why I never really wanted to do this story because I remember how hurt she was. So even though it happened to me, I felt uncomfortable sharing this story, even though I feel like it will help people because I don't want to open that wound for my auntie again. But considering in 2021, my family, the women that raised me, have made it very clear how they feel about me, I'm turning my pain into profit, period. I'm going to take that woe is me energy and I'm going to turn it into power. And I'm going to use my story to empower other women, other boys. You feel what I'm saying? Since my family thinks that everything that I've gone through is funny and I'm just making it up, I'm just over exaggerating. Let me remind you, let me refresh your memory, the danger that you literally put me in. Because you knew what your husband was doing to little girls out in the street. You knew the reputation that your husband had. So when you guys sit around and talk about my pain and the experiences that I have gone through, just remember, you have put me in a position to be in that pain. And I'm going to use that pain and I'm going to change my fucking life. Remember this. Remember me. Because you're not going to find me where you left me, bitch. Know that. Yeah. When my auntie dropped me off, she was so guilty. I mean, she cried when she found out. She cried on the ride home. She cried when she told my auntie what happened because my auntie was my legal guardian at the time. So she had to tell her. I really don't understand how people could switch up on you like that. Like, I really don't get that. But maybe that's because I'm a solid ass bitch. You guys, I genuinely thought that I was just going to go to the police station, report what happened, and that was gonna be the end of it. I genuinely thought that. I don't know why. It gets worse. Come to find out, not even a few weeks later, maybe like a week and a half later, me and my auntie get contacted by a detective in Long Beach that basically said that my auntie's husband had a literal case against him because he assaulted another young girl and they needed me to tell my story against him in court. It is literally so funny how everybody remembers my past and everybody want to use my past against me, but my auntie's husband was literally fighting a case for being a pervert and a predator. I was like the third girl that they had found to testify against him in court. If I didn't want to go to the police station, do you think that my depressed ass wanted to go to court? When I was growing up, I used to go to court so much because I got taken away from my mom. Because of Child Protective Services, I always had to go to court. I did not want to go to court for this man. I'm like, he touched me, let's just leave it at that. But my family was like, no, if this man got a record, you have to tell your story. You have to put this man in jail. Like, he can't be on the street. So I had to go back to Long Beach and give my statement to the detective that had the case again. That's when I found out that it wasn't just me. It was like 2 other girls. They did not just want my statement. They wanted my auntie's mother's statement as well, considering she was in the house. After I give my statement to the detective, I get a letter in the mail telling me when the court date was gonna be. You guys, it was some real life Law and Order SVU type shit. I literally had to testify and I literally had to point him out in court. And to be honest with you, it kind of felt good to do that because now that I'm grown, I feel like God was like, no, 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 no. This right here gonna be the nail in the coffin, baby. It kind of felt good to do that. I had seen it so many times on TV, and to point out the man that thought that he could get away with violating me and then violating other people. Imagine all the other people that never went to the police. It felt damn good to point that man out and go, yeah, it was him. I don't know what happened to my auntie's husband after that. I don't know if he went to jail. I don't know if he went to prison. It was none of my business after that point, because I told my story there just how I'm telling my story here today. I'm making this video to speak my truth. I'm making this video so other people can stand up and speak their truth. This video is not about me. This video is about empowering people that come across this video. Empowering people that may be going through this right now and they don't know if they should go to the police or not. When I tell you, it feel good to point that criminal out, girl, I'm just letting you know. I'm making this video to release any bitterness, any malice, any anger that I have towards my aunties, because we don't have to have a relationship. That's okay. But I just want them to remember that there was a point when I genuinely did love them. And I want them to think about who I really am versus who they say I am. And that's my truth. With that being said, if you guys like this video, go ahead and turn that thumbs up blue. Support your girl. Get those fingers moving in the comments below and express yourself. I don't know if you guys feel comfortable sharing your own stories. I would like to hear from you guys. I would like to know how you guys feel about this situation. If you guys have ever been betrayed by your family, if your family has watched you be abused and then turn around and laugh at you and make you out to be a black sheep, let me know in those comments below. Our past does not define us. Keep fighting for your future. With that being said, I love you guys so much. God bless you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Till next time.